Have you ever noticed how easy it is to miss the experience because you're too busy thinking about how you look in it? You're at the pool, but you're thinking about your stomach. You're on vacation, but you're thinking about your arms. You're taking a family picture, but you're focused on whether or not you look good in it. And before anyone says anything, let me just tell you, you're not the only one. By the way, welcome to the longevity path where ancient wisdom meets modern regenerative medicine. I'm Ava, doctor of acupuncture and Chinese medicine. And I've always found it interesting that people spend all year looking forward to summer. And no judgment here. But then summer arrives, and instead of enjoying it, many of us spend the season criticizing ourselves. We avoid pictures, we avoid swimsuits, we avoid experiences, or we participate physically while mentally standing on the sidelines, judging ourselves. And what's fascinating is that most of us assume that this is about appearance. I don't think it is. I think it's about something much deeper. I think it's about being seen. But that's just my personal opinion. Maybe you can relate, maybe not. But summer is the most visible season of the year. We're outside more, maybe not necessarily here in Arizona. We're around people more. We're showing more skin. We're taking more pictures. We're gathering more often. Everything just feels more exposed, and that includes us. I love the fact that Chinese medicine always seemed to understand the seasons and the influences not only on the body, but also the emotional experience of being human. Now, like we mentioned before, summer is associated with the fire element, and not fire as in bad, but fire as in connection, joy, visibility, expression, relationship. But when fire becomes imbalanced, you may become more vulnerable to comparison, emotional reactivity, insecurity, and seeking validation outside of yourself. Today, I want to try and explain some of the same experiences through the nervous system science. The human brain is constantly evaluating belonging, acceptance, and social safety. And social media has amplified that dramatically. Think about it. You don't just experience your summer anymore. You experience everybody else's summer too. You see the vacations, the bodies, the adventures, the memories, the highlights. And without realizing it, many of us begin measuring our lives against someone else's highlight reel. I know it's happened to you. It's happened to me. And guess what? That creates stress. And it's not because your life is bad. It's because comparison quietly steals your ability to experience what's already in front of you. One of the questions I find myself asking patients is this: how much of your life are you missing because you're worrying about how you look while you're living it? It's a powerful question, and you can relay this to different aspects of your life, not just this one in particular. Because for many people, the answer to that question is usually more than they'd like to admit. I've worked with people who postpone vacations until they lost weight, or they stressed me out about getting their weight lost before vacations, which is unrealistic. They've avoided photographs, declined invitations. I've done that too. Waited to buy clothes. That's me too. Waited to feel confident. Waited to enjoy their life. And the problem with waiting is that life seems to just keep moving. Summer keeps happening every year like clockwork. Comes back around. The kids keep growing, or grandkids keep growing. The memories keep being made. The photos get taken anyway. At some point, we have to ask ourselves, what are we actually waiting for? Now, does that mean we shouldn't care about our health? Of course not. I care deeply about health, but honestly, health is a journey. It's not a destination you reach and you stay at. Health is literally my profession, but health and self-rejection are not always the same thing. Sometimes it is. You can pursue health while still respecting yourself. You can work toward change without making your worth dependent on it. That's what I mean by sometimes and sometimes not connected. And from a longevity perspective, this part is incredibly important because chronic self-criticism is stressful. And guess what? Stress affects hormones, sleep, recovery, inflammation, mood, resilience. And guess what? The body is always listening to the messages we repeat. And this doesn't have to be about manifestation here, but if the message is, I'm not good enough, or I'll be happy when, I'll enjoy my life later, the body hears that too. This summer, I'd like to offer a different perspective. What if your body isn't the problem? What if the problem is the relationship you've developed with it? What if the healthiest thing you could do this summer isn't another punishment disguised as a wellness plan? What if it's learning how to support yourself while still pursuing growth? Because summer is meant to be experienced, not observed from the sidelines. And maybe the question worth asking isn't, how do I change my body? Maybe the question is, how do I stop missing my life while waiting for my body to change? That's the question I've been reflecting on lately. Personally, maybe it's one worth reflecting on too. If this conversation resonated with you, let me know in the comments. And if you're feeling stuck, the Food Fit Assessment with Wes is always a great place to start, because knowing what foods and drinks trigger your inflammation and bloating and constipation and all the things is extremely helpful. And as always, stay grounded, stay consistent, and build health that supports your life, not just your symptoms.